Let's get our shoulders warmed up with 3 sets of side-lying shoulder cars on each side. So coming down into like a side plank position with the top leg threaded over. And we're going to reach through those fingertips, coming into external rotation. Bring that arm in towards the center of the body, bringing it up into shoulder flexion, thumb points to the wall behind you. Internally rotate, reaching back as far as you can, and back of the hand towards the thigh, reverse. Push back, shoulder extension, thumb leads the way, coming into external rotation, opening the thumb up towards the ceiling, back up into shoulder flexion, and externally rotating as the arm comes down. Again, bring it in, bring it up. Biggest circle you can make, internally rotate, thumb rotates away, pinky forward and thumb back, reverse, push back, thumb opens up, shoulder flexion, and in towards the front of the body. Last time. Come into external rotation, come into adduction, shoulder flexion, internal rotation, reaching back, big circle, and pushing back, shoulder extension, external rotation, reaching back, reaching up into shoulder flexion, and externally rotate as you come back out. Good. Other side. Reaching through those fingertips, get a little stretch in your side, come into external rotation, in toward the midline, up, bicep up by the ear, internally rotate that thumb and bicep away, reaching back, pinky forward, thumb back, reverse, shoulder extension, external rotation, thumb rotates up, shoulder flexion, adduction, and back out. Bring it in, bring it up, rotate away, reach it back. Back of the hand towards the thigh, reverse, push back, open up, reach it up by the ear, and bring it forward one more time. In and up, reach back. Keep rotating through that shoulder as you reach, and reverse, push back, thumb leads the way, open up towards the ceiling, and bring that arm back out. Good job. Okay, so now your shoulders should be warm. We're going to be getting into an external rotation stretch for the shoulder. So this is going to take a little bit of experimentation with blocks. You can also use a kettlebell. If you have that at home, you might find a stack of books or something else that you can use. I'm going to be showing this with some yoga blocks. And the position that we're going to be in is face down with the elbow out to the side of the shoulder and the arm positioned up into external rotation. So it depends on how much external rotation you have in your shoulder. For some people, this is a really challenging position to be in. One yoga block might be enough to provide a stretch. You can always take a second block and place it underneath your forehead just to give yourself a little support and to keep the back of the neck nice and long here. If you get into this position with one block and you are able to lift that wrist off away from the block, then you know that the block isn't quite high enough for you. So I'm going to add this second block here, and I'm going to rest my forearm against the block, and this is where I'm going to take my passive stretch. If 2 blocks is too high, you can always position one of them a little bit further forward so that it's not at as severe of an angle. Okay, so find your position, grab a pillow or something to pad your neck if you need it, or pad your forehead down. And once we get into this position, we're going to hold here, passive stretch for 2 minutes. So I want you to just find your breath. Relax your nervous system. Shoulders are down away from the ears. Relax any tension in your legs. And if you're feeling the stretch in the correct place, you'll probably feel it in the front of your shoulder. You might feel it kind of deep inside of your shoulder. But if you feel any pinching or pain in the back of your shoulder, you'll want to back off this stretch or find an alternative position. My recommendation would be to lower the height of your blocks to make it so that it's more comfortable for you. And as you are holding and breathing and relaxing into this passive stretch, I'm going to talk you through your pales and rails contractions. So, pales, we push. For pales, you're going to start to push your forearm, don't do it yet, but you're going to start to push that forearm down into the block, as if you were going to push that fist down towards the floor. That's going to be your pales contraction. You're going to feel the front of the shoulder lighting up and working as you do your pales. For rails, you're going to try to lift that forearm towards the wall behind you and away from the block. But because you are in such an extreme stretch here, you should not be able to physically lift your wrist away from the block. But you're going to feel all the muscles in the back of the shoulder lighting up to try to make that movement happen. So pales is pushing, rails is pulling, then you're going to relax and come back into your passive stretch. So we're going to get ready to do our first set of pales. I like to tuck my toes under. I make a fist and keep my other arm close to my body to help irradiate. So nice big breath in. Irradiate and start to push. Forearm into the blocks. Work your way up to your greatest, safest effort over about 5 to 7 seconds. And once you get there, I want you to push and hold for 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch to rails. Try to pull that forearm off of those blocks. It's not actually going to lift. You're going to feel all the muscles in the back of your shoulder working hard. Pull and hold for 3, 2, 1. Relax the tension through your whole body. And come back to that nice, deep diaphragmatic breathing. Give your nervous system a chance to rest here. Because that was a lot of work that you just did, but we're going to do that 2 more times. So try not to adjust anything in your position unless you're uncomfortable. You want to stay in that deep passive stretch. Let's get ready for our second set of pales. So tuck those toes under, make a fist, take a nice big breath in, irradiate and start to gently push, forearm into the blocks, start to build that tension up, pushing harder, work it up to your greatest, safest effort now and hold 10 seconds, pushing. Try to hold that same level of tension, tight through your core for 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch to rails, opposite muscles, trying to pull that forearm up off the blocks. It is so hard. You're not able to pull that arm off, but you are trying as best you can. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax the tension. And just come back into your passive stretch. If you need to make any adjustments here, if this feels like you're not getting enough stretch, you can start to move those blocks a little bit closer to prop your forearm up a little bit higher. But work with whatever your range of motion is. If that's one block or maybe a couple of books, that's perfectly fine. It's really important to work with where you are and not try to achieve a certain look to your position. One last set. We're going to give it everything we've got here. Tuck those toes under, take a nice big breath in, irradiate, and start to push. Forearm into the blocks, feel that rotation happening at your shoulder. Push, push, push. Greatest, safest effort now, and hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch, rails, pull. Try to pull that forearm up off the blocks, get as light as you can. Same level of intensity as your pales contraction. You're pulling into rails for 3, 2, 1. Slowly release. Come back to your breathing. And guess what? We have some lift-offs to do. But you're not going to be able to lift off from here. So let's either remove one of the blocks, or if that's too big of a jump, slide one of the blocks forward, slide your elbow back very slightly. Remember, we just want to back out of the stretch about 5 to 10 degrees. And you're still in this face down position here. See if you can lift off. I can't, so I'm actually going to remove this entire block. I'm going to swap it for a shorter one. Here I'm barely able to lift off, so this is the point from which I'm going to work. I'm going to take a nice big breath in, irradiate, and pull that forearm off the blocks. Slowly place it back on. Pull it off, back on. Even if it's a millimeter or two off, that is still good work. Lift, back on. Lift, back on. Try not to get your neck muscles involved. This is all shoulder. Few more. 8. Place it back on. Lift 9. Place it back on. Let's take a little bit of a rest here because you're going to lift and hold for 5 seconds. Big breath in. Irradiate and lift and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Kick those blocks out and slowly let that arm come down towards the floor. Oh my goodness, that is hard work. Good job. Let's take it to the other side. And again, you got to figure out the right setup for your second side because our shoulders are different. They're not always going to be symmetrical. So what worked on one side might be too easy for the second side, or it might be too hard. So take a minute, pause if you need to find the right setup for your other shoulder. Again, we're going to line up the elbow with the shoulder level. Maybe resting the forehead down. That feels like a very extreme stretch on my left side, so I'm going to change it a little bit. Play with these blocks. They are very good tools to have for this type of work. And once you find a position where you feel a good therapeutic stretch, make sure that you are not able to physically lift that forearm off the block so you know you're at your end range of motion. And we're going to find our breath here for a couple minutes. Working on rotation when it comes to your shoulders and your hips and really any other joint that rotates or has the capacity to rotate, that is our highest priority. because we need to make sure we have adequate rotation before we can chase more linear ranges of motion like shoulder flexion. For example, when we bring our arm up overhead, a lot of people are very limited in that range of motion and can injure themselves easily if they were to lift weights or try to do a pull-up or a chin-up or something that requires that range of motion. And so we really want to make sure we nail down internal and external rotation at the shoulders and at the hips before we chase after these other more linear goals. It's always the priority. Nice deep breaths. Just taking stock of what you feel here. Is this stretch more intense than the first side? Is it less intense? Do you have pain anywhere? Do you need to make any kind of adjustments here? And as we gear up for our first set of pails and rails, we're going to tuck those toes under, bring that other arm down by the side, make a fist, take a big breath in, irradiate, and start to push forearm into those blocks. Ramp it up slowly. Get up to your greatest, safest effort and push. Hold for 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch to rails. Pull as if you were going to pull that forearm up off of those blocks. Use the muscles on the opposite side of the shoulder. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax the tension slowly. And come back to that deep diaphragmatic breathing. Something to check in with too as you're doing pails and rails. Sometimes if we get a little overzealous with those contractions, the forearm can start to travel away from us. So just have a look, make sure you've still got a nice 90-degree angle at your elbow, that your fist hasn't traveled out away from you. And getting ready for our second set, toes tuck under. Intense here, we're going to create that irradiation, big breath in. Start to push pails, forearm into the blocks, drive that forearm down, work your way up to your greatest, safest effort and hold here, 10 seconds, pushing. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch to rails, pull, use those muscles on the opposite side of the shoulder, try to get as light as you can on those blocks. Don't let your neck get involved. Hold here for 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly relax the tension and come back to your diaphragmatic breathing. Slow breath in through the nose. Slower breath out of the mouth. Make sure you exhale completely so that your ribs can relax down. And letting your nervous system recharge for our final set of pails and rails. Okay, here we go. Toes tuck under. Fist into the floor. Big breath in. Irradiate and start to press forearm down to those blocks. 5 to 7 seconds. Work your way up slowly to your greatest, safest effort. Hold. 10, 9, 8, 7. Hold steady. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, switch to rails, pull, try to get lighter on those blocks, pull that forearm up towards the wall behind you, away from the blocks, hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, slowly relax. Relaxing into that passive stretch. Good work. We're just going to let our nervous system calm down a little bit so that we can get our 10 reps of liftoffs in at the end of this set. It's really, really important not to just walk away after doing these pails and rails, but to actually use those muscles and really have this work settle into your nervous system and program your nervous system so your body knows that it's safe to go to these ranges. Okay, so again, if you're at your end range of motion, you will not be able to lift off from where you are. So make any necessary adjustments, either moving the block forward, which is what I'm going to do. I'm just sliding the smaller block forward on the larger block. You could take it away completely. And we're going to come back to our position of irradiation with the toes tucked. Big breath in. Abs are on, and we're going to lift off. 1, back on. 2, very small range of motion. 3, 4, 5, lifting straight off, rotating at the shoulder. 6, 7, 8, squeeze it up. 9, bring it down, hold here now. We're going to take a nice big breath in, and we're going to hold our last lift off for 10 seconds. Big breath in, irradiate, lift off and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Kick those blocks out. Slowly bring that arm forward, down towards the floor. Excellent job. That was a lot of work. Easy as you try to get up because you've just worked your shoulders quite a bit. Oh, you should be feeling that by now. You might have a block mark on your forehead like I probably do. And now we're going to go into our easy capsule cars. So think 30 to 40% maximum effort here. Elbows up at 90 degrees. We bring one arm into internal rotation. The other one comes externally. And vice versa. Breathing with this movement. Again, just working nice and easy. You're not pushing hard. All the hard work is already done. Oops, snap, crackle, pop. Last one on each side. Good work. Shake that out. We're going to wrap this up with 3 super easy side lying hip cars, shoulder cars. Hip cars are for another time. So we've got that shoulder, elbow underneath the shoulder, top leg is forward. Reach those fingertips out, come into external rotation. Bring that arm in and up. Easy reps. Internally rotate, reach back. Reverse, push back. External rotation. Just nice smooth circles here. This is really just to show your body that you own these new ranges of motion, meaning you've developed the strength and the control to be there. These are not scary places for your body to go because you are learning how to be in those places while being able to develop force and produce force. Last time on this side. Easy reps, other side. Come into external rotation, in and up. Internally rotate, reach it back. Reverse. If you're a morning cars person, you're going to do these cars at about the same intensity that you do those morning cars. So really about 10 to 30% of irradiation or tension as you go through these motions. Right now, because your nervous system is tired from the work that you've done, but in the morning, because your nervous system needs some time to wake up. I have no idea if that was 3 or if this is 4 reps, so we're just gonna do this one maybe for extra credit. Excellent job. That is your shoulder external rotation.